Good evening. Welcome to Mello TV. I'm your host, Evan Hewitt. After more than 300 years of British colonial rule, Jamaica gained independence on August 6, 1962. The road to independence was long and hard, but with prominent and instrumental figures such as Sir Alexander Bustamante and Norman Washington Manley, Jamaica gained its freedom for self-governance. Becoming independent, Jamaica's locally drafted constitution came into effect on August 6, 1962. Coming up in tonight's Mello TV Bill Johnson poll, the people of Jamaica will tell us whether or not Jamaica would have been better off today if it had remained a colony of Great Britain. Joining the discussion tonight to analyze this evening's data are Pollster Bill Johnson and political analyst Paul Bourne. Gentlemen, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Bill, would Jamaica be better off today if it had remained a colony of Great Britain? What are the people saying?
Well, 48% of the people we interviewed believe that the country would be better off today if it had remained a colony of Great Britain 60 years ago. Only 26% disagree with that, and 26% don't know. So basically, by almost a 2-to-1 margin, people feel the country would be better off today if it had remained a colony. These figures are pretty consistent across political groups. The people who voted for the JLP are 45% agree that the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony, compared to 30% who disagree. PNP voters are 2-to-1, 53% to 27%, agreeing that the country would be better off if it had remained a colony. And those who didn't vote, by a 2-to-1 plurality, 47% to 24%, believe the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony.
Bill, also, let's look at the other numbers based on their level of education, socioeconomic status, and gender. What are those numbers showing?
Okay, well, basically, 51% of the men agree the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony. 24% disagree. Among women, it's 45% agree, 27% disagree. When you look at the education, people with the lowest levels of education are 47% agree the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony, and that goes up to 52% of those with a college or university education who believe the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony. Looking at it by age, those above 55 tend to believe that the country, even though they still believe the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony, the disagreement with that statement is much larger among those two groups than among the rest of the age groups. And finally, among socioeconomic status, 73% of those in the highest socioeconomic status believe the country would have been better off if it had remained a colony. 24% disagree, and down to the lowest socioeconomic status level, where 43% agree the country would have been better off, and 32% disagree. So it's pretty universal, the feelings that Jamaicans are suffering from some form of buyer's remorse, we might say, in terms of having chosen to become independent 60 years ago.
Interesting. Paul, should politicians think long and hard before they campaign for Jamaica to become even more independent from Great Britain by becoming a republic, given what has happened in Barbados and envy on the part of Mayor Motley?
The figures require that we think for a minute what is actually going on, because when you look at those who are educated saying that Jamaica would have been better off remaining, and when you look at those persons who are I've been here for a while in terms of age. It indicates to me that Jamaicans think that politicians have failed them, but not only politicians. It means that the entire system of Jamaica has been a failure. Now, Derek Gordon work that was actually done in 1987 spoke of the level of inequality in Jamaica. But we know we're not only seeing inequality inside of the Jamaica, we're also seeing a decay and degradation in terms of the social structure, the social fabric, the economic structure, and all of this is actually coming out with a level of disappointment of the people. So what I want politicians to actually sit and think about is, are you offering the Jamaican people currently what they say that you're offering them? Because clearly what you're offering them at the moment is little or nothing. And it is sad that we have been independent and we have accomplished so much as a country, as a people. You look at both, you look at, I mean, one of the person that we have had in terms of academic, you look at what we have contributed, and people are saying that we have failed. And this is a travesty to the entire system in Jamaica.
Are we then, Paul, regretting the decision to become independent in the first place, looking at, how things are progressing?
When you look at some of the things that people are saying, embedded in the numbers, is they are so disappointed with where things are in Jamaica that they are saying, listen, give us back Great Britain. And that is a clear indication of a saddened state in terms of a society, that the people who have not accomplished so much are saying that they are fed up, frustrated, and disappointed with having to take independence, despite the fact that we were ruled by an entire system which was actually different in terms of ethnicity than we are.
The age group between 25 and 54 polled the highest of those in agreement that the country should have stayed under the British colony. These are the young to middle-aged professionals that contribute to the economy of this country. This is serious business. What could have influenced this age group's view? Paul?
It is simple. It is as simple as clear water. There are little or no opportunities inside Jamaica. No, young persons want opportunity. They want to better themselves. They do not see a life in Jamaica as offering them that benefit to become somebody successful, somebody meaningful in Jamaica. And that is why a number of them are disheartened and despondent in terms of what is actually going on. So this will actually spill over into a number of persons actually becoming a part of crime and criminal organizations, because the formal economy is offering Jamaican young person little or no hope. And it is sad that young persons who are not only the contributors to society, but the future of society, saying Jamaica is not a place to wanting to be.
Somewhere in our discussion some time ago on this very same poll situation, the argument came out that Jamaicans do not see themselves galvanizing around a particular situation. In Cuba, for example, you talk about patria o muerte, venceremos, homeland or death. Is it that we do not have a common cause around which to galvanize why the situation has become the way it is?
The matter is a complex one, because if you look at where Jamaica was initial in terms of even how we got independence, we have technically been fighting so much that some of the things that should have been addressed were not addressed. Because when you look at the level of inequality in a system where persons think a viable business is to go and scam as a young person, that is sad. But not only that, when the people of a country can think that their first resort is to get an education and leave, that is also a sad state. Now, what are people to do in Jamaica, even if we were to have any rhetoric that there is? If we want to even go back to the Manley era when there was a particular rhetoric, people are looking at where are they in terms of life, in terms of progress, in terms of economy, in terms of their social being. What have we accomplished as a people? That's exactly what the people are saying. And they are saying that we've accomplished little or nothing. So irrespective of what it is that we want to use as a rhetoric, people are not seeing the benefits of living in Jamaica. And that is a travesty to the entire system inside the country.
Question now begs itself. What and who is to be blamed for where we are and the position in which we find ourselves?
The matter relating to who is supposed to be blamed, if we actually look in the mirror, we'll actually see the answer to that. It is that clear. We are all to be blamed for where things are. I believe that a substantial part of where we are as a people is the failure of our grandparents and great-grandparents and even a number of us in terms of wanting and better from politicians, wanting a better from the system. A number of people have sat down for years and they have actually kept quiet. And so where we are today is total reflection of not only politicians, but also the elite class, the educated class, in terms of having sat down and have done nothing while some persons squander the riches that we actually started with in 1962.
There's a serious brain drain happening, and a large percentage of our brightest professionals are migrating or want to migrate given the opportunity. Even the retired polled high. What's happening to our country? Did the forefathers make a mistake, or would they be proud of the Jamaica today as we enter into our 60th year of independence come August 6th?
They will be proud at the fact that they see huge edifice that they'll be proud of. But in terms of looking at what we have done in terms of our contribution otherwise to the entire development of the people as a whole, they will be saddened. Not only saddened, they will actually hold their hands on their head and beg for mercy. And what it is that they are now seeing, they did not actually anticipate that we would be there. What they would have anticipated is a country that is driven where everyone in Jamaica will be proud to be a Jamaican. Now, people are proud to be Jamaicans when they leave and have accumulated something and they return. It is sad that young people are not proud of Jamaica, that they'll want to stay in and make a significant contribution to the development of the society. And that is where we are, a sad state and a failure of all of us. And the issue relating to will they be happy? I presume many of our grandparents and foreparents, wherever they are saddened, crying, and wondering what they did wrong.
Well, our news team visited the streets to get the views of the public, and this is what they had to say.
When the Queen was around with the rich pound, we were richer. But now that we are using the dollars, which is much, much weaker than the pound, it is much more difficult for us.
Maybe I know we're not ready to deal with the problem of independence, which is a seminal question: should Jamaica break away from England? Well, first of all, me say we're not ready yet. Me not think so we're really ready.
Well, in a way, I think Jamaica would have ready for their independence. Because guess what? If you have to send your children to school at a tender age, you might worry about them getting hurt. But you have to allow them on them own and guide them through till after a time them just eventually acknowledge the whole thing and get used to the system. So I just basically that have happened to Jamaica. Jamaica old enough now. Jamaica is no more baby. Jamaica big and old now. Yeah, a whole heap of things are going on now and Jamaica take on to that now. So I don't know if them get independence.
Jamaica get independent and the people don't live independent. I don't see the reason. You give Jamaica independent and the people still in the pen. Nah man, liberate the people.
Independence, I think we'd be doing better if we weren't independent, but you know, independence can always be the start of something good. You know, so you know, nothing try, nothing done at the same time. You know, but it's a lot to consider in terms of whether or not if we were independent yes or no versus being independent no. So you know, it's a lot to consider really.
No, we never think we did ready for independence. When we get independence 62, what we didn't mostly need was emancipation. That's what we didn't need. We never need independence.
I think when we were controlled by the Queen, I think we did better off, honestly. Because we say we get independent, and honestly, we're not independent yet. Serious. Well, yeah man, honestly, simple.
I think this country would be better if the Queen was running the country right now.
The honest truth is the Queen would lead the Commonwealth in a better way as she did in the past. Now, if she is made to stay as head of state in Jamaica here and a lot of other Caribbean countries.
So then, Bill, let's look at the reasons why the people agree and disagree. What are those poll numbers showing?
Okay, well, for those who felt that Jamaica would be better off if it had remained a colony, 28% said the currency would be stronger, 17% said there'd be more opportunities, more jobs, 15% said there'd be less crime, the laws would be enforced better, 14% said the economy or cost of living would be better, 7% said that we're living a better life, 6% said we're still dependent, we need help, 5% said it would be easier to get visas or travel, 2% said easier access to the UK, and 2% said other colonies are prospering. In terms of why Jamaica is better off not being a colony, it wouldn't help, it wouldn't do anything for Jamaica, was mentioned by 16%. Freedom is better than money, mentioned by 15%. We can make our own laws, 14%. The British don't care about black people, 8%. We would be back to being slaves, mentioned by 8%. Wouldn't make a difference, 7%. And we would be under too many rules, 4%. But it almost seems like these people we interviewed today had looked at these answers, given what they responded, just off the cuff. It's really amazing.
Paul, inflation of our Jamaican dollar is top of the list for the people to regret Jamaica becoming independent. Your thoughts on these numbers?
The matter relating to the exchange rate is a fundamental one, because the exchange rate is an indication in terms of one being able to actually afford many of the things that we actually consume or buy in Jamaica. So what technically people are actually saying from this number is that life would have been better if the Queen had actually been head of state, and not only head of state, running the entire society. Now, when one look at these numbers, and we are saying we got independent almost 60 years ago, 59 years at the moment, approaching 60 years. And what we have to show for it is a group of people who are disappointed with the fact that we made a choice that has technically destroyed them. Destroyed them in what sense? Yes, we have actually had improvement in terms of buildings, in terms of infrastructure and all of that. But the people are saying where we are now, the value of our life today has substantially been worse off. And we need to understand clearly, a number of these individuals who are actually making that statement are the young person, because Jamaica has approximately 12 to about 15% of persons who are over 60 years old. And so what we're saying is that the younger person are analyzing Jamaica and compare with other places in the world. They are comparing with Britain, they are comparing with other places. And they are saying life is better there than Jamaica. So this is a travesty that persons have actually taken independence and should have made the Jamaican people better off, and where we are today, saddened by what has happened and regretting that situation. And that is a sad state to be in.
Among the higher numbers are more job opportunities, less crime, and a better economy. Do you agree with the people? Are they spot on?
Do I agree with the people? The people have spoken, so it's far more than I agree or disagree. It's a matter relating to persons. They are living and they are saying, listen, we are suffering. So I'm not believing in what they are saying. I know what they are saying, that these are the situations that they are saying, listen, the Jamaican society need help. It's the help that they need is a structural help that will ensure that Jamaica is a better place to live, to raise family, and to have children. Currently, it is not, and they are saying it is sad that what we are seeing today is having gotten independence. And we can look at all the ramifications of independence, and it's relating to democracy and it's relating to emancipation. But it comes down to a simple thing. We are not surviving as we would have hoped and would have wanted. And that is a clear indication that we have failed the people of Jamaica.
Which seemingly means that that Vision 2030 is gone through the window and the Jamaicans have lost hope. Bill, tell us why Jamaica say the country is better off not being a colony.
Well, you know, the people have spoken. I mean, they're concerned about the currency. They're concerned about the quality of life that they have here. They're concerned about opportunities. They're concerned about jobs. They hear about much better opportunities in the Cayman Islands than in Jamaica, in the Turks and Caicos, in other colonies that have colonies of Great Britain that have remained colonies of Great Britain. And they just feel that Jamaica hasn't gotten its fair share of things for one reason or another. And even down to the visas. I mean, they think it would be easier to travel in terms of getting visas if they were still a colony as opposed to being an independent country. It's really tragic. I mean, because this country has so many wonderful things to offer that just aren't getting through to the, obviously, to the ordinary person.
The veracity and accuracy of the Mello TV Bill Johnson poll coming to the front again and being really, really spot on. Paul, very interesting responses. Chief among them is that the people are saying it would not help or do anything for the country, that freedom is better than money. Your thoughts?
I like that one. Freedom. But if that is what they are saying, they are getting what freedom has actually caused. Freedom is actually causing them to suffer. Freedom is actually causing them with a high crime rate. So they need to make up their mind, what exactly do they want? Do they really want freedom or do they want a better life? There seems to be some oxymoron there, because if it is that they want freedom and they have got freedom and they are now complaining about the dollar, opportunities, crime, what is it that they want? So there seems to be some issue with inside the Jamaican people. Yes, they want freedom, and that's understandable, but they want freedom at what price? The price they've actually paid for their freedom is the current state that they're actually in. So there is some challenge with what it is that they want, and at the same time, they want betterment. And they have gotten the freedom at this price.
One wonders, where are the solutions? Where do we look? Where do we go from here? What does the government do?
Where do we go from here? What we do go from here is to sit and analyze what type of Jamaica we want. Do we want a Jamaica where every individual is prosperous, every individual desire to stay, every individual want to make a contribution? And if that is a Jamaica that we need to put in place measures and mechanisms to ensure that that happens. Now, one such measure and mechanism that we can actually place is an education, quality education for all. It is really sad that when you look at many Jamaicans, we are unable to even think critically through things or unbiasedly through things. And that is a substantial part of that is as a result of the level of education that a number of what we have actually gotten. So that needs to be addressed. Then the autumn relates to as well opportunities. Persons in Jamaica should see themselves not only as wanting to work for the structure, work for the system, but to make a contribution that will actually expand the economy, employ other persons and give opportunities. Another thing that we should also look at in terms of moving forward is the disassociation between criminal enterprises, criminal organizations and units, and political parties and those persons who actually are in the society would actually keep Jamaica at ransom. Because if it is that that link is broken, that part of the chain is actually broken, Jamaica, I can guarantee you, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a better place. When we can actually begin to look at what it is that we have and ensure that this country is a better place, in the sense that if an individual has committed something wrong, he should be jailed or in prison. We should actually look as well in terms of the system that is actually happening. Jamaica is such an unjust and unequitable place that many persons do not even want to stay, even when they are given opportunities. And that should not be the case. It should be one Jamaica for all. And what do I mean by that? a system in Jamaica that is so just that every individual in Jamaica has equal opportunity and equal chance to do better and get life well.
Equitable life for the Jamaican people. Once again, the Mello TV Bill Johnson poll bringing a lot to the fore and really taking us closer to reality, opening our eyes, as it were, to what is currently happening in the society. Bill, these discussions have proven to be quite interesting and informative. What do we have in the cards come tomorrow?
Tomorrow we ask people if they had the opportunity to migrate to another country, would they migrate or would they prefer to stay in Jamaica? And I'm sure it's going to lead to a lot of heated discussion tomorrow.
Thanks, Bill. So there you have it. Join us tomorrow and every weekday until February 25 to get answers to many more important questions during the Mello TV Bill Johnson poll, and also listen to Mello FM and to Rhythm FM newscasts for the recap. I want to thank this evening our guests, Pollster Bill Johnson and political analyst and commentator Paul Bourne. I'm Evan Hewitt, and on behalf of the entire production team, thanks for watching.